A vacation to Orlando, Florida is considered incomplete without visiting Icon Park, as the park itself claims. Icon Park was opened on May 4th, 2015, and is located in the center of Orlando, sparking excitement among visitors. The park offers an extensive variety of dining options, including over 40 diverse restaurants, a multitude of bars, one-of-a-kind boutique shops, and an awe-inspiring collection of must-ride attractions that will leave you breathless. I've been posting lots of interesting and informative videos about roller coaster disasters on my channel. If you're interested in learning more about this subject, please subscribe to my channel. The Orlando Freefall ride, known as the world's tallest drop tower, gained notoriety in early 2022 due to a tragedy. Tyree Sampson, a 14-year-old from Missouri, was thrown from the ride and lost his life. Tyree, born on August 17, 2007, was a rising middle school football player who earned the nickname Big Tick from his teammates. In addition to his athletic abilities, Tyree was also highly intelligent in the classroom. The incident not only caused shock in Orlando, but reverberated around the world. Aside from his impressive football skills and academic intelligence, Tyree Sampson was known for his warm personality and friendly demeanor. He was a young man that made people want to engage in conversation with him. At just 14 years old, he stood at an impressive height of 6 feet 5 inches and weighed 383 pounds, which would become relevant in the story later on. As per his parents, Tyree was on spring break visiting family friends in Florida when they made the decision to spend a day of fun and excitement at Icon Park on March 25, 2022. Tyree was eager to experience the thrilling rides and make lasting memories with his loved ones. A few days prior to his trip to Icon Park, Tyree was said to be in a hurry to leave the house, typical of a teenager eager and excited for an upcoming adventure. He hugged his mother and bid her farewell, saying, "I'll see you on Saturday or Sunday." Sadly, this was the last time she would ever speak to her son. On the day of the tragedy, Tyree and his group spent the day at Icon Park, but Tyree was prevented from riding some of the attractions due to his height and weight, which posed major safety concerns for the ride operators. Despite this, Tyree and his friends still enjoyed the park and its offerings. Tyree's mother later reflected on her son's joy and excitement in the days leading up to the trip, and how that all came to a sudden and devastating end. As the day was winding down, the group decided to end on a high note by taking one final ride, saving the best for last, the highly anticipated and unmissable Orlando Freefall ride at Icon Park. It was 11 p.m., and they were eager to experience the thrill of the world's tallest drop tower. The Orlando Freefall Tower, also known as the Icon Drop Tower, was promoted as the world's tallest freestanding drop tower, reaching a height of 430 feet, 15 feet taller than Six Flags' Drop of Doom Tower. The ride was constructed by Funtime, a company established in 1998. It has the capacity to hold up to 30 riders and drops at a speed of 75 miles per hour from a height of approximately 400 feet. A photo was taken just before the ride took off, showing Tyree in his seat with the shoulder harness buckled, but seemingly too small for him. According to a friend, Tyree had expressed concerns about the harness moving and being too loose. However, the ride took off despite these concerns. The next moments were captured on video, where after about 10 minutes into the ride, Tyree was tragically dislodged from his seat. Passengers, friends, and families watched in horror as Tyree hung on for a few moments before succumbing to the fall. Tragically, Tyree Sampson's final words were a plea to his parents. He begged for them to be told that he loved them before he was forcibly ejected from the ride and plummeted to the ground. The horrified screams of the other passengers and witnesses filled the air as they frantically called for the ride to be stopped. Despite the swift response of emergency services, Tyree was found on the ground, surrounded by a pool of blood, having suffered fatal injuries from the fall. Despite the efforts of medical personnel, he could not be saved. The tragic death of Tyree Sampson brought about a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident. Despite the heartbreaking loss of such a promising young man, it was imperative to find out why he was allowed on the ride in the first place. The investigation found that Sampson was significantly above the weight limit set by the manufacturer of the ride, which was 286 pounds. The report also highlighted that park workers were supposed to check if the restraint was within the contours of the seat and that the bracket was properly fitted. Sadly, it is not known if this was done in Sampson's case. This raises questions about the lack of critical safety features on the ride. Most drop tower rides have over-the-shoulder harnesses as a standard practice, but additional safety features, such as a seatbelt to fasten the harness to the seat, are also commonly used. However, the Orlando Freefall, otherwise known as the Icon Drop Tower, was built without these added measures of safety. Sampson's death was a devastating loss, not just for his family and friends, but for the entire community. It is important to continue to examine and improve upon safety measures in all theme park rides to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. The absence of a safety latch or seatbelt in the Freefall ride was a significant design flaw that contributed to Sampson's tragic death. Normally, drop tower rides have over-the-shoulder harnesses, but they also include additional safety features like a seatbelt that fastens the harness to the seat, providing an extra level of security. In the case of the Freefall ride, the only restraint was the plastic pull-down straps designed to secure the rider in place between the legs, which were not enough to prevent Sampson from falling. Despite daily inspections claimed by the ride's representatives, it is still unclear how such a critical safety issue was not addressed and why park workers allowed riders who were above the weight limit to get on the ride. The lack of adequate safety features in the Freefall ride raises questions about the responsibility of the ride's creators and Icon Park. The fact that the daily inspections were performed by inexperienced teenagers instead of qualified professionals was concerning. This lack of proper oversight contributed to the tragedy that befell Sampson. In the aftermath, his family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the park ride operator and the manufacturer, alleging negligence on their part. The family's lawyers stated that the defendants displayed a multitude of instances of negligence, including the failure to provide a simple $22 seatbelt on a multi-million-dollar ride. This showed a blatant disregard for the safety of those passengers and was a major factor in the lawsuit. The lawyer continued to express his thoughts, stating that the manufacturer of the ride should bear some responsibility for the tragedy that occurred. He emphasized that despite this, the park operator should still be held accountable for their own negligence in the situation. The lawyer stated that the lack of a $22 seatbelt on a ride that cost millions to build was just one of the many instances of gross negligence on the part of multiple parties involved. The wrongful death lawsuit brought by Sampson's family named both the park operator and the manufacturer as defendants. The lawsuit is still ongoing, and the lawyer promised to keep the public informed if any updates or developments arise. This tragedy is a heart-wrenching loss that has affected many people. It's evident that Sampson was a beloved young man with so much potential, and his absence will be felt deeply. Tyree's father expressed his sorrow and regret, wishing he could have been there for his son, to tell him how much he loved him and how sorry he was for his untimely death. He desperately wants answers as to what happened to his son and why he can't walk back home. The ride operator and manufacturer are facing accusations of negligence, and a wrongful death lawsuit has been filed. The park has since permanently closed the ride, and Tyree's family is still searching for closure and peace.